Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is all about my Elite Trainer Box collection. So stay tuned and I'll showcase the Elite Trainer Box collection. Hopefully you guys enjoy Elite Trainer Boxes as much as I do. I'll stick some investing sort of tips right at the end of the video while I'm looking at the latest 151 Elite Trainer Box. So of course stay tuned for that. Now a nice little, and I love a bit of banter, I'm Australian, that's what we do. We do it all the time in all the sport we play. We do it all the time at work. In fact, we do it just about anywhere and everywhere to our mates. The better the mate you are, the more banter you'll cop. So someone said something like, do you live on a slope? Does your table that you film your camera off, is it missing a leg? And, that was a pretty fair point because I never really picked it up. But when I rewatched some of the videos back, yeah, touche, fair point, because it wasn't really level. So things have changed. I've changed the display around a very slight bit, added the poster collection from 151 up on the wall here, and hopefully things are straight. So whoever that was, if you're watching, touche, well played, love a bit of banter. Thanks for kicking my backside into gear a little bit. We've got to have it looking good for you guys. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump into Elite Trainer Boxes. So when I display them on the screen here, it's all going to be, so thumbs up to the Aussie viewers. Thanks heaps for watching. It's going to be an Australian pricing today because I just want to show, it's really a showcase of the ETBs, not so much about the price or how much it's gone up, but I did want to showcase what I paid for each ETB. And because I go through all my sort of eBay history or receipts or whatever it might be, it's all in Australian dollars and it's difficult to convert, but the exchange rate is roughly $1.60. Like, $1 buys you roughly $1.60 Australian. So something's $100, it's going to be 160 Australian. So I'm sure you can sort of do the maths and work out where it's sitting. But without further ado, let's jump into it. All in Australian prices. First cab off the rank, XY Evolutions Charizard box. Now, like I said, I'm going to have the paid price up the top and current market price down the bottom. I ended up paying, well, I actually didn't get this too long ago. Maybe it was a little while. Probably 18 months ago. I ended up paying 260 Australian for it. I think current market price, they're all over the shop, but realistically, I think you're going to pick one up in that $350 to $400 range. So, if you sort of pencil in 370, I think you'd be pretty safe. Next up, Burning Shadows, the one-hit wonder set. Hey, you really got to pull that secret rare Charizard Rainbow GX out of there to get any value out of it. But I paid $140 for this box. Probably about the same time as that XY Evolutions box about 18 months ago. Current market price, I think you'd be able to pick one up pretty safely for $250, maybe a touch less. Lost Thunder, really, really nice looking Elite Trainer box, this one. I actually picked this one up with 20 loose Lost Thunder booster packs as well. If you sort of break it down though, the purchase price for the actual ETB was around $180. I picked this up probably closer to 2 years ago, I reckon. And current market price, I think in Australian dollars, you'd be sitting somewhere around the $320 mark. One of my personal favourite pieces of my sealed collection, the Celestial Storm Elite Trainer Box. Beautiful artwork, beautiful colours, fan favourite Pokemon on the front in Rayquaza. I paid about $280 for this box about 2 years ago. Market price on this is a tough one. Again, they're all over the place, but if I were to sell it, I wouldn't want to let it go for anything under 600 Australian dollars. I think I'd be silly to do so. The Zacian and Zamazenta, I suppose, special Elite Trainer boxes, you'd call them, from the start of the Sword and Shield era. I've got both. You've probably seen them in the videos, both boxes. You got the gold Zacian and Zamazenta. They get the early Sword and Shield sets in base and Rebel Clash, and I think you get a bit of Darkness Ablaze in there as well, and maybe a Vivid Voltage. But anyway, picked both of these up sort of for a deal for $200. Probably, price now, you're looking probably $150 to $160 Australian per box. And the Elite Trainer box that really hasn't moved in price. This is probably your first step into Elite Trainer boxes being mass printed in Darkness Ablaze, getting multiple reprints and a very, very late big reprint. This is one that hasn't moved for me. I think I paid probably, $85, and it's probably still worth $85. So it really has not moved. Arguably a little bit of hype over this Elite Trainer box. First one showing or showcasing Pikachu on the front. Vivid Voltage was a vibrant, colourful set. It probably had good potential, but same thing. Absolutely got printed into the ground with a massive late reprint for the Elite Trainer box like Darkness Ablaze. The same thing. This is, probably I paid $85 for it. It's probably still worth $85. So 2 Elite Trainer boxes that haven't moved at all, those ones. Champion's Path. Great looking Elite Trainer box with Charizard VMAX on the front. I got caught out a little bit with these because I pre-ordered them. It was at a time when, of course, Pokemon was, hard to get and being hyped up massively right at the start of COVID. Supply was short, paid $110 at pre-order, and not really worth a heap more now. You'd probably pick one up, I guess, at the low end of the market, maybe for 135 Australian dollars. And another Elite Trainer box that got absolutely printed to the ground. This was nothing like its big brother, Hidden Fates. Didn't have a lot of the original 151 Pokemon like Hidden Fates did. Holiday set, lots and lots of ETBs printed. I paid about $79 for this, or my few Elite Trainer boxes, and current market price is, maybe $10 dearer. You might be able to pick one up for a little bit less than that, but probably going for around $90. Speaking of its big brother, Hidden Fates. What a stellar Elite Trainer box. I absolutely stocked up on these just before they got reprinted, which is a bit of a stitch up. I think, look, realistically, you're probably going to have to pay high 200s, if not $300 to get yourself a Hidden Fates Elite Trainer box right about now. I paid a combined probably, $195 per Elite Trainer box. So look, they've made a little bit of a gain for me. Not as much as I expected because they did get hit with a reprint not long after they bought them. I thought I timed it perfectly. I thought, I'll get them just before it's out of print and volume's really starting to move down with the amount of supply left on the market, and then bang, another reprint come. Well into the Sword and Shield era, which was a bit of a kick in the teeth, so to speak, but they're the roll of the dice, hey? Battle Styles. Some may tout it as the worst Sword and Shield set. I certainly don't think so. It was a set quite heavily printed and obviously, out just before, big hitters like Chilling Reign and Evolving Skies and Celebrations. So, stock got left on the shelf a little bit. So it's still pretty much sitting at what you could buy it for. I picked both of my Elite Trainer boxes up for $65, and it's probably worth not much more than that. Blue and red, they come in, of course, with the Urshifu. You probably have to pay maybe somewhere around $75 now. Chilling Reign. I think there's even a price sticker left on this. I ended up buying a couple. I bought 4, 2 of each type. Did me a deal at $70 per Elite Trainer box. Currently, look, not worth a heap much more than that. It was one of those products sort of left on the shelves and overshadowed by Evolving Skies, which came out not long after it. Currently, you're probably going to pick one up for 80, 85 Australian dollars. And the big hitter of Sword and Shield, Evolving Skies. Look, I picked up both sets of Elite Trainer boxes. I've got multiple copies of both sets of Elite Trainer boxes. I think they're beautiful looking Elite Trainer boxes, especially with the combination of all the different evolutions on the front cover. I paid $80 per Elite Trainer box, and look, probably definitely double the money, maybe a touch more than that. You're probably looking at about 180 Australian dollars per Elite Trainer box. Fusion Strike, arguably the cutest looking Elite Trainer box and most colourful looking Elite Trainer box from the Sword and Shield era. I picked this one up for $75 and still on the shelves in Australia or online retailers, you can still pick these up for $75. So not much movement. I'll do some commentary around sort of towards the end of this video on Elite Trainer boxes and why prices maybe haven't moved as much as what they did in the past. But yeah, not much movement here on Fusion Strike. Celebrations, the 25th anniversary set. I remember Kmart here in Australia actually had a little bit of a retail campaign on these not long after launch, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for it and buy a fair few up because who knows, it's probably going to be reprinted. I think it's almost sitting in a similar boat with 151 at the moment. There was that real unsurety about its print levels and how it was going to be printed. So I picked up a fair few at Kmart. They had a special where they were having them at $84.95, which I thought wasn't too bad a price at the time. Currently, I think, you're probably going to, I've probably made nearly 100 Australian dollars on that sort of price. You're probably going to have to pay 175, 180 to pick yourself up a Celebrations Elite Trainer box now. Brilliant Stars, definitely the cleanest looking Elite Trainer box from the Sword and Shield era. Nice white and gold, Arceus on the front, Charizard alt art inside the set. Again, not a great deal of movement on this, though. I picked all mine up not long after launch for 79 Australian dollars, and they're currently going for roughly 100 Australian dollars. Poor old Pokemon Go. Definitely don't look at that price sticker on the front. These were reduced down to clear. Obviously, the sort of retail price is 100 Australian dollars of these. I picked them up from JB Hi-Fi. They're having a bit of a clearance sale because I imagine they had plenty of stock there and, just couldn't move it. So I ended up paying about $60 per Elite Trainer box for Pokemon Go. And geez, what would you get from now? Maybe a touch more, 70, 80 bucks. Astral Radiance, Darkrai on the front, giving off those sort of eerie, spooky vibes on this Elite Trainer box, but nonetheless, quite a nice looking Elite Trainer box. An underrated set in my opinion, but probably the cheapest Elite Trainer box you can still pick up from the Sword and Shield era. I paid $69 per Elite Trainer box that I've got, and that seems to be the going rate right about now, which is $69. Lost Origin, the star of the set, chilling on the front there, Giratina. Obviously, such a beautiful alt art card, the most expensive Pokemon card from a main set in 2022. What did I pay for these? I think I paid about $79 per ETB, and to be honest, it's not that old a set. It's only a bit over a year or even close to 18 months old now, Lost Origin, and they're still sitting around for $79. You'll still find them online. You'll still find them in retail shops from time to time. So they haven't really moved from $79. Silver Tempest could have, in my opinion, thrown it way back to the first ETB, which is that Plasma Storm one, and put a Lugia on the front, but of course decided not to. Why would you? That would be stupid. And put the Alolan Vulpix on the front. Anyway, I paid $80 per ETB, and you can currently still pick these up for roughly about that. Maybe you'd need to pay a couple of dollars more, maybe about $85, but that seems to be where they sit. The final yellow bordered English Pokemon card set, Crown Zenith, and what an absolute hit it was, and such a nice looking Elite Trainer box with Lucario just cruising around on the front there. Picked these up, what was it, EB Games actually, which is rare because to be honest, they're quite expensive from time to time in Australia here, but they did have a special running on these, $79 per Elite Trainer box. Picked up a fair few. Look, retail on these is supposed to be $99. I don't know if you can actually find one much cheaper than that at the moment. So that's probably where it sits in terms of retail position, about $99. Scarlet and Violet base, introduction of promos into regular Elite Trainer boxes. Picked both of these up for Miraidon and Koraidon for $85. Current market price, probably roughly the same. I'm sure you could pick them up for $85, but they seem to be cruising around online for $90. You could probably use a bit of a discount code on that and get them for $85, but that seems to be where they sit. Paldea Evolved, probably definitely the cutest looking Elite Trainer box so far from Scarlet and Violet. And don't forget, there is a new recommended retail price for all Scarlet and Violet ETBs. Picked this up for $80. Current market price, probably $85. The promo inside this is super cool. That Pikachu with the new 3 starter trio chilling on the card, and the new 3 starters, of course, on the front of the card, front of the box. Obsidian Flames, the second latest main set, $80. Again, current market price, I don't know, probably chilling somewhere around the same, if not $85. Depends if you can pick up a voucher. Hey, that promo, I forgot. Damn, that's a nice looking promo, isn't it? That Charmander chilling in the window trying to spook the Pidgeys. Yeah, probably $80, $85 is market price on this one. And nearly the latest and greatest, Scarlet and Violet 151. We've of course got Paradox Rift out after this. I don't have a Paradox Rift Elite Trainer box yet. I, of course, will be getting one. I got these for a pretty good deal, I thought, online. I bought a fair few for $72 Australian. I think current market price is probably somewhere around that $85 to $90 mark. Now, while I've got this chilling and spinning on the screen, I thought I'd have a quick little chat around Elite Trainer boxes and a few things to keep in mind with them. Now, first of all, retail, as I mentioned, has gone up for Scarlet and Violet. The other side of it is they now pick up promos as standard in regular Elite Trainer boxes, whereas they used to come in the Pokemon Center exclusives. The other side of it is, what you've got to remember is Elite Trainer boxes from previous sets showed massive growth. And in some cases, they were quite often more expensive or are more expensive than the booster box counterpart. Like sets like Primal Clash come to mind, or maybe Furious Fist comes to mind. But what you've got to remember is in the past, Elite Trainer boxes were not printed anywhere near as much as they are now. So print run plays a massive, massive factor on obviously how rare the product becomes and therefore how valuable the product becomes. And in this case, from probably sets like Darkness Ablaze onwards, we've seen massive reprints, and it's really stalled any potential gains that you could get from booster boxes. For example, Darkness Ablaze is still roughly the same price as it was when it launched. Now, when you sell that box, you've got to take into account things like 13% fees if you sell on eBay, postage costs unless you make the buyer pay for postage, and remembering Elite Trainer boxes are a bigger item than a booster box, so postage is going to be a little bit more expensive. So you've really got to hope that if you pay $80 for an Elite Trainer box, realistically, if you can sell it for $100, like you're breaking even. So please keep that in mind. I still think Elite Trainer boxes have a place in investment, particularly for the holiday sets, where Elite Trainer box is the box to get bulk packs, like Hidden Fates, or Shining Fates, or Champion's Path, or Celebrations, or in this case, Scarlet and Violet 151 that's in front of you right now. But please keep that in mind that they are being printed a lot more than what they ever were. So I guess previous performance isn't going to predict future performance. We shouldn't expect things like Team Up sort of, 1200% increase, or we shouldn't expect Celestial Storm 800% increase. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to get that on your Fusion Strike booster box, Elite Trainer box, or your Chilling Reign Elite Trainer box, or your Battle Styles Elite Trainer box, or even your Paldea Evolved Elite Trainer box. I feel like those days are behind us because they're being printed way too much. So please just keep that in mind when it comes to investing in Elite Trainer boxes. Mind you, they are beautiful looking things. They look great on display. I personally invest more heavily, particularly if it's a main set, in booster boxes than I do Elite Trainer boxes, but I do like to buy them to have on display. Well, I guess that just about sums up the video. I'm Michael, this is PokeOz, and I'll catch everyone next time.